Facebook don't kick us out. Well, hello, my resilience family. Welcome this lovely 8th day of January 2023, guys. Happy blessed new year again. I'm probably going to say it the whole month. And oh my God, it is the 8th day. It is new beginnings. And my, we have an awesome guest for you today. I'm excited. I am
too.
Excited.
And I want to say welcome. You guys made it through the first week of January. And while we are here in the presence of celebration, let's give us some finger snaps and some blessings and claps to the actress, entrepreneur, poetess, who has also an online boutique, which we'll be discussing as well, and YouTube inspiration, as well as a motivational speaker, Miss Divine Valentin.
Drum rolls, yay! Okay, I see she having some little technical difficulty, but it's okay. So again, just want to welcome you. We are going to be talking, of course, about being resilient, guys. We are going to be talking about endurance, getting through, strength, courage, and power. Because those are the things that I'm hearing for this year for 2023. I'm hearing collaboration, just coming together, just a wholeness to get through 2023, because I don't think it's going to be all smooth sailing for us all this year yet, or shall I say, but God, we got this.
We need to basically, I'm piggybacking off of Miss Dawn. So yes, we do need to be in preparation. We do need to be more in tuned, self-examination, or some people would say shadow work of ourselves, because we cannot pour ourselves or what we're capable or what we're filled with if our glass is not even half. It has to be full. It has to overflow. And with that, hey, I'm right along with you all.
And here she is, Divine. Hello, Queen. Uh-oh, we can't hear you, Divine. Are you muted? Nope, still can't hear you. I see your lips moving, girl, but we can't hear you. And to my podcast world, we are streaming live on Facebook today.
That we are. And while she's in preparation and getting ready, most of what we're going to discuss today is part of who we are, resilient. And resilienters. Do we have you in, Miss Divine?
Cannot hear you.
Is your earplugs plugged in? They're plugged in, then yeah, it's going to take the audio.
Yeah. As she prepping. So as I say, guys, it's been the first 8 days of January. I hope we have been starting to live more intentional for this year, meaning do what you say and say what you're going to do. Seriously, it's all about action this year. Nope, still can't hear you, Queen.
Okay, what about now?
Yes. Yay!
You know what's funny is that stuff like that always happens when you...
And it's all right.
Listen, I wanted to chime in when you first introduced the show about New Year's and coming into the first week, and and being able to get through. One of the things that I never did before was have any sort of like New Year's resolutions. I've never done it because I never stuck with it. After a while, I was like, I'm over it. I'm not, But this time, it wasn't even so much a it wasn't even so much a resolution. Maybe it was more like a New Year's resolution. It was more like, okay, no. And that means that I have to do this work in order to come out of this, so I don't have to revisit this. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to be more intentional, and I'm going to be on purpose. And that's what I'm going to do. Like, that was life changing. You know what I mean? It was like, sometimes New Year's resolutions are so temporary, and it's like, no, this is life changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that is exactly what we discussed as church when I got the revelation that it was based off Genesis, and then it was like 19 and 26. Basically, we need to stop being like Lot's wife, looking back, and we need to look forward, because the more we continue to look back, we're holding ourselves in bondage. So we need to be released, and that is what we are blessing and throwing shouts out, claps, and celebration to you, because you are one of the beacons of this life. You're one of the ones that have been inspiring and motivation and giving us things that we need. God works through all of us, giving us the same revelation, just in different aspects and different ways. And I'm so blessed. And again, I'm welcoming and everybody to help snatch together. We have this beautiful woman on the line to let us be in her perspective and gain some perspective as well.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. When I started writing, I wasn't writing for anyone. And I don't think even till today, I write for anyone. I write for myself. But it's funny that when I write for myself, I write for somebody else. And I had to learn that I'm more of a channel for the creator, as we all are, and so that's how I use my work. Just use me. What do you need me to write about? What do you need me to say? Or I'll come to the creator and I'll just say, I need something, and I need you to bring it through, because I know that your work is the best work. So what do you need me to? And so that's just how I work, and I'm thankful that I have an audience that really receives, what's being given or what's being put out there.
Yes. So tell me real fast how you became to actually start writing. Like, what brought you to this world? How did you notice this gift God gave you?
So I didn't start writing until I moved here from New York with my mother. My mother had left my father. And, looking back at it, even throughout my years, I realized how parenthood, womanhood, motherhood is powerful. And what's interesting is that it doesn't matter what you're in, like, you're still a woman. And so even if you're a wife, like, you're still a woman. There are things you need. There are things that keep you alive. And so when I was leaving New York, my mother was packing up. My father was at work, and she said, I'm leaving with or without you.
Wow.
Anybody else probably would have been like, wow, what a mom, right? But
how old were you?
I was 12.
Wow.
I was 12. And now I have 3 older brothers. I'm the youngest and the only girl. And my brothers are a lot older than me. My youngest brother, older above me, is 8 years. So it's only been me. Wow. So when she said it, I was like, oh, you ain't leaving me here. You know what I mean? My father's at work. I'm not staying here and him come home and you're not here. I'm leaving with you, because I didn't want her to be by herself. So I came to Arizona. But again, as I'm living my own life and having my own children and being married and divorced and being in relationships and what have you, I look back at what my mother said, and I've been in that place of I'm leaving with or without you. You know what I mean? And I don't just mean talking with my children. I mean, period. Like, I'm done. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. And that was very pivotal. So, you asked me about writing. A lot of my writing comes from that journey. And I didn't start writing till I was in Arizona, in a place that I didn't know and understand. I was like an alien here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Being from New York, I'm a whole nother, they don't know what I am. You know what I'm saying? Are you Black? Are you white? Are you Spanish? Are you Black? Are you mixed? It's like, I'm never asked those questions in New York, you know, because we're all not the same, but we all know each other already. How I talk and how, you know, I use my hands when everything was different. And so my writing really came from needing a friend. I used my writing as that was my friend. It didn't judge me. I asked all my questions. I gave all my confessions. I gave my secrets. So writing really saved me. You know what I mean? My mom at one point, she asked me, because I had very low self-esteem as a teenager. You know, I left my father in New York, the man that protected me, the man that, you know, I don't go nowhere without him. You know what I mean? His treasure, you know, I was his jewel, you know. So now I'm in Arizona with my mother and I'm an open target. You know what I mean? Like my mom worked 2-3 jobs. It was just me and her. I'm a latchkey kid. I'm not knowing myself. I'm not protected anymore, you know? And so, that's, you know, that's my writing just stems from a lot of that. Now, knowing that I had impact, that people were listening, I didn't know that until I was done putting it on paper. And my spirit, in all honesty, was like, okay, we're done talking to the paper now. We need to like say this out loud. And I was very shy as a kid. So I didn't think of myself on stage, even though I was singing doo-wop music at 9 years old with my father because he had a group in New York. So I was on stage young, but to do poetry would have never. It was really spirit, because it was like, okay, we're done. We're done writing it. It's done. We need to start. You need to open your mouth and you need to, say it out loud. So I told myself, I said, whether I pass out, you know what I mean? As nervous as I was like, I'm going to do it anyway. And after my first time, I was like, where's the next stage? You know, what do we need to do now? And there are times where I'm reading my work and bugging out that I wrote it, you know, because I'll read it and I'll go, wow. And I'll learn something from my own writing. Like, oh snap, like I'll have my own aha moment from my writing. Like, and it's in those moments where I'm reminded that, sister, you got help with this. You know what I'm saying? You got help with this. And so I just kept doing it. Yeah. A lot of beautiful things have come out of just deciding that that's what I was just going to do. Regardless. Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, wow.
So with the ability that you have, the creativity that you carry, basically, aka gift, how have you noticed it helped others?
I will never forget this. I was hosting an open mic and I recited a piece about my son. I have 4 boys. My oldest is 23. I have twins that are 15 and the baby's 7. Wow. So at the time, I only had my oldest son. And I remember reciting this piece about him, like giving birth to his name is Elohim, which means God in Hebrew. So I wrote this piece and afterwards this lady came up to me and she was crying. And she said, I just wanted to thank you for saying what I felt. She was like, because I have a son too. She goes, but I don't write like that. You know, she was like, I don't write. She was like, but you said what I feel. And I promise you, it was that moment that I was like, oh my God, people are like really listening and they're digesting. And I made a decision that if you come in my circle, if you're in my space, you're not leaving the way you came. You're not leaving the way you came. No way. No way. I can't. the words are too powerful to just be given out like that. You know what I mean? And to not be thinking before you speak. So my writing became more mindful. Like I wasn't just writing. I was like, okay, where's this coming from? What am I writing about? Who do I want to reach? What feeling do I want to get? You know, and all of it is my life. I mean, I don't write about anything I don't know about, but in that I'm very honest about my writing. So that was the first time that I realized that it affected people.
Wow.
And that it's been bananas.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been bananas. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Can you just give us a little bit of insight of who you are and whatnot, and just tell the audience who you are?
So I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. Me and my mother moved out here in '89.
Wow.
I'm very, very open, so I'm just gonna give it to you. I'm just gonna give it to you. When I moved here to Phoenix, everything just changed for me. So it was probably about 16 years old, and I came home to my mom. School wasn't my thing. I wasn't really a school kid, and I told her, I said, I don't want to go back to school. And she was like, well, you know, I can't force you, because if I force you, you're going to cut school. So you got to go to work, because I was old enough to work. So I went to work, and that didn't work. And so my sister-in-law called me from New York, and she was like, you know, we have a GED program out here. Come out here and get your GED. And so I told my mom, you know, I didn't want to be a problem for her. So I was like, if I don't pass, I'm going to stay in New York. If I pass, I'll come back. So I'm in New York, and my instructor, and then my point to this is that there's a genius in all of us. And the sad part is that we're taught to be conformed to certain situations or environments, and it really suppresses the beauty that we really carry, like all of us do, right? So I'm at this program, and my professor was my instructor was one of the professors at the college where the program was. He was a philosophy professor, and I loved philosophy. I did a lot of reading outside of school. Nice. And so I'm asking him, like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm grading my classes that I teach here. And I said, I want to read it. So I started reading it, and I got real into it. And he was like, I'm going to give you the homework for it. So I'm doing the homework. I'm like 17, 18 years old. I came back, and he's like, you know, you do better than the students that I teach, you know? And it was just one of those moments again, where it's like, I'm not like other people. You know what I'm saying? It's okay that you don't fit in a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's good that you read these things, and, you know, and you're interested in things that other people are not interested in. You know, I love psychology, philosophy. I like to read about people's stories. I'm an avid reader. So I'm not a big writer. You know, people who write stories. I give big time shout outs to all the creators out there, because I ain't got it. Yeah, I ain't got it. I'm working on a book now, and I'm pulling my hair out, but I ain't got it. But, you know, I do photography as well. And, you know, I dive into the things that make me feel good. You know, the poetry, photography, jewelry. I make jewelry. I make soaps now. I make my own shirts, you know, and I use these things to feed my kids, to pay my bills, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Because I know that I'm not like, I don't live a traditional life, you know, and I've always worked for myself. So,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's music to my ears, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Right.
We'll be talking to you later.
Totally can relate.
So that explains how you became an entrepreneur, because of the talents that you have, and you don't care for, you're not telling people or discouraging them not to work a 9 to 5, because you know you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
You is for you, and that's the entrepreneurship within you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, that's awesome. So with all the people that surround you and how you've evolved, what would you say is different of you beginning versus you now?
I have allowed less people in my ear.
Yes.
I have allowed less people. I do not not everybody is invited in my personal space.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't share a lot of what God has given me to a lot of people. Because I know that one, the plan is bigger. The vision is bigger. I'm also, I can definitely bear witness that I'm fully provided for and have been provided for in spaces that I never thought I would get out of, you know what I mean? And that was without anybody's help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was way bigger than anybody. Nobody's going to save me like that. You know what I mean? And that's been big for me, because being young and naive and not really knowing, you want everybody's okay. You want everybody's, you think I should do it? You know, I got this idea and I can feel it, taste it, and touch it. But what do you think? You know what I mean? And I've stopped doing that.
That's
and now
good.
I just do it.
Ha! Yeah, that just spoke to my soul. I'm
glad.
Always for that outside approval. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's okay. I could move. I could inch up here. I could do this. What this person said, okay. So it should be a baby bye.
But one of the things I learned that really, really moved me to make that type of decision was this. When you're given a desire, it's already done.
Yes.
It's given to you to implement it. It's given to you because you have everything it needs to come to life. If you didn't, it wouldn't have been given to you. So that's why it's like, why would I ask someone else if I should when it's already been given? So that's where I am. And okay, so let's say it doesn't work out. Okay, what else you got? You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. I'm still alive. I still have choices and options. Thank God. So what else you got? You know? So I don't know. You could call it bravery. You could call it courage. You could call it not having fear. I have fear all the time. I'm nervous all the time. I'm scared all the time. But the big picture is do it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? And it took me a minute to get to that point. Seriously. Like we haven't been living in our God ordained power and that authority that we know we have. And if we do, my God, eyes haven't seen and ears ain't heard. I'm just saying,
Right. And that's all because, like she stated, and this is a conversation I had last night as well, we're too busy being letting other people to condition us and put us in a place where they think sees is a fitting, when in actuality, we are a puzzle piece of God that universally, with his approval, we can fit anywhere. Keyword, with his approval. But if you don't have his approval, stop trying to be somewhere where you don't fit.
Exactly. There's no resistance. That's the other part of my list of things is no resistance. I'm not fighting no more. Not fighting no more. I don't have it. I I thought I had it. I ain't got it. So I'm not fighting no more.
That part. Yes.
I'm not built for it.
And knowing that everything you need is in you.
It's right
there.
I'm
saying? That he gave it to you. You just got
right where you
find it. You gotta find it. You gotta do your due diligence, do your work, like you're saying, do your reading. It's coming.
Here's the other part. The other part of it too is to learn how to be quiet.
Yeah.
When to know to be quiet and when to speak up. Yes, Lord.
You know, you have to know that if you know that if you already know that you're being guided, right? You already know that. Okay, so the guide, whatever, the guide, right? Is not going to guide you here and not guide you here. And not guide you here. You're guided no matter where you are, but you run in your mouth too far over here.
Come on now.
Can't hear what's being instructed. And over here, you know what I mean? So it's like, you gotta be quiet. Just be quiet. And we're scared because the power is so big. It's so earth-shaking and it's so able to shift that we're scared because we don't want to lose somebody, or we don't want to lose a situation, or even a child, or whatever it is. And it's like, yo, do it anyway. Like, I got you. I got you. I didn't drop you over here, so why am I drop you over here?
And that's a lot of things that people are ignorant or blissfully ignorant to, of how resilient they could truly be. How they could truly resiliently be. And be not just, like you said, a lot of the things that we go through are not necessarily for us, but it embeds in us to change us, to transform us before the eyes of those who are having questions, who are thirsting in hunger.
Yeah.
You just got to pay attention. And like you said, you've got to be quiet, because if you do all this static, how are you going to hear God? How are you going to know and hear you?
Yes.
Every day should be a better day. Every day you should have learned more than yesterday. You should have took your notes. You should have some notes. You're 46 years old. Where's your pad and pen? Where are your notes? Where are your lessons at? Because earlier when you mentioned holding on to the past, I've been thinking about that because I'm working on just telling my story, and it's been hard going back there. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, I learned some things back there.
That's good.
So the story is necessary, but what's bigger than the story is the lesson. And so that's what's keeping me writing. That's what's keeping me going, is that none of it happened for no reason.
Right.
And I don't want to keep telling the story, but at the same time, there's a lesson in it. So the story is necessary. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, but all of this really comes down to is self-awareness. You can't go through things and not pick up a little bit more of yourself, a little bit more growth. You know what I'm saying? It's all about self-awareness. How you going to know what you just came through if you didn't pull nothing from it? You're just going to revisit it. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want to repeat no more cycles. I don't want to repeat no more.
Yes, want to move forward.
Okay. Because to be stagnant, it would drive you up the way. And I'm speaking from experience, because I was there at one time. But to be stagnant, you guys, is not a place you want to be.
It really
to be
is
in a
not.
place where it's dark, you don't see no light, you don't know if you're stepping on something, and you don't include God. Oh yeah, no thank you.
Well, here's the other thing too, is that a made up mind is a dangerous one. You need to make up your mind. You need to decide. You can't stay there. Can't stay there. You got to decide. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Now.
What are you doing?
Yes. Oh my God, this is so good, and it's amazing how things connect, how the spirit just connect it all, because this is the same thing that's been coming to me. That's been what I've been working on. Self-evaluation. Stepping back, looking, re-examination. Like you saying, you gotta write it down. And, I was one of those nah, no, I don't. It's up here. I'm good. To help that manifest, you have to write it down.
One of the things that I teach, I have a workshop called "Don't Hold Your Tongue." When I was younger, my mother used to tell me not to hold my tongue. She said, "You hold your tongue, you die early." She was like, "Don't hold your tongue. Be respectful. Say what you feel. Always say what you feel. Don't ever be afraid." So I started this workshop. It's a performance, or not performance, it's like a life skills workshop. Anyway, in the workshop, it's a lot about breathing. So a lot of the, paying attention to your breath, right? Because we go throughout the day and we're really not paying attention to it. And I learned a lot about breathing through yoga and breathing through the pain. I teach my kids the same thing. Breathe through the pain. Breathe through the pain. The pain is going to be there, but if you focus on the breathing, you won't focus on the pain. Whatever you focus on gets bigger. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so when you're aware of what it is that you're going through, if you can understand that you're not this, oh Lord have mercy. When you know that you are not this,
that is good.
You really grow stronger in more ways than one, because you realize how much you can really handle. Because it's not going to be given to you if you can't handle, right? So here's the deal. When I had my boys, it's a funny story. I was mad at God. Okay. I was like, why you give me all these boys?
Oh my God, that was the opposite. I'm sorry.
Okay, I said, why'd you give me all these boys? I said, I don't like to go outside. I don't like to get dirty. I don't play games. I was like, I gotta chase them. I was like, why'd you give me all these boys? And I really fought with it for a while. And one day when I got quiet and I just heard, I'm not gonna give you nothing you can't handle. And wow. I have my challenges with my boys, but it's nothing I can't handle. I learn more from my boys. It's amazing. Like I'm thankful every day for them because they really teach me something. And I just remember having that. But I bring that up because we're so mad at God for so many things. And it's like, you got this, right? Okay, because you wouldn't be there if you did. Okay, I'm just reminding you of that. Like we have to be reminders for ourselves, right? We got to be our own trainers, our own cheerleaders, and the whole nine, and reminders to each other. And that's what I feel like this is all about. Like if we don't tell our story, we don't give permission to someone else to tell their story.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So
wow. I love it. And when you're talking about the breathing exercises, I do have a 9 to 5 still, well, because it's part of my passion. I manage a group home. I'm one of the managers for a group home for kids that are in state custody. They're broken. They're so broken, so hurt, trauma. And that's one of the things I do with them. I teach them this deep breathing. I teach them the mindfulness, just to get that one to help them focus on the positive and not all the trauma, the hurt they get through, or who's not there, So when you said that workshop, I said, wow.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing too is when you do give when you give yourself that time to breathe, you slowing the mind down. You're giving yourself that time to figure something out. You know what I mean? Like we get so caught up in life, we think there are no solutions. I'll never get out of this. It'll always be like this. I'm supposed to live like this. I'm never supposed to have love. I'm never supposed to give love. I'm just a bad kid or a bad woman or a bad man or whatever. And you really, really have all of your answers. You know what I mean? And when you just give yourself a minute.
Yes, mom. Yes, mom.
You can really come up with something that could help. You know what I'm saying? It could be a word. It could be a thing. It could, God comes through whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be open. And I feel like the breathing opens you up to receive that. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
I kid you not. And that is so true. And like both of you, I work with low income families. And so, there's a lot of, trauma and misunderstanding, lack of communication, and not knowing their purpose. So I do things from a different stretch of it. Like you, they had me to come down one day in the classroom, and the kids was just running amok, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And so I was like, hey, everybody, hey, let's sit down and let's do the Indian style, crisscross applesauce. And they're like 4, 5, 3. And I said, let's take it in. And they're like, okay. So they're breathing in. I said, now let it out. I said, all the colors that's in your body, let it out. I said, what colors do you see? I'm asking questions, giving them imagination, throwing out there. Let's breathe in positive, release all the negative. Let's breathe in this. No matter what mommy and daddy said this morning, and all of a sudden the teacher goes, I'm going to have to do this every morning because they're actually enjoying this. Yes. I'm like, this is giving them to stabilize.
Yeah.
When
I realized that I was a single mother, okay, let's just put that out there. I am a single mom, okay? I'm raising boys, okay? It's not easy. When you're invested in your children, emotionally, spiritually, physically, when you're invested, you know that it is not easy, right? One of the biggest reasons why I taught my boys about the breathing technique was because it's expected of them to be physical when they are emotional. Right? So break something, hurt somebody, and whatever. I wanted to give them another option. Like you have another option. You know what I'm saying? You do not, that does not have to be your first reaction. You know what I'm saying? And they do it to this day. They do it to this day, and they think. You know, that's another thing about breathing is just makes you think a little bit, you know. And it was heavy because I knew that one day they were going to be in this world without me, and they had to know self-control.
That's good.
When you get them into the breathing, it teaches them self-control. So
good.
It's powerful for everybody.
That's so good.
That's you're breaking generational curses.
For sure.
The typical Black men stereotype of the norm. You're breaking all those barriers. So that's why God was like, hey, you know, you got this. And you're doing
I was like, I'm done. We're done. We're not. 4 is enough, okay?
I hear you. That is too fun. That is crazy. So real fast.
Yeah.
You dabble in the podcast world too.
I did. I started a podcast called Rice and Honey. And okay, so let me tell you about this. Okay, so I started writing, I started performing, I started hosting open mics, I started opening up for famous people, and then I wanted to create my own one-woman show. And I've been on stage before. I've been in a full-length feature film. I've been in short films. I've been on stage acting, plays, and things like that. But I wanted to do my own show. But I want my show to be about my story. Now, God is good. I have all my immediate family, meaning no one's passed away. I have all my brothers, my mother, my father. Okay. So with that being said, there's a lot of my story that my family doesn't know about. Do you understand? So there's a lot of hesitation when it comes to completing it and making it happen. But before any of that, I'm still very, very shy. So I used the podcast platform to get me out of my comfort zone in telling my story. So the podcast is about mental health. So I have challenges with anxiety. So I talk about my techniques and the things I use to get through my days and my performing and everything. I talk about my trials and tribulations with my children. I talk about relationships. And so I'm very, you know, it's my stories and I created the platform to get out of my own comfort zone, but believe it or not, I get more feedback from single fathers.
Wow. Now that is actually a good audience.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Right. And I had no idea. I guess my thought was women, but a lot of men, and maybe because I'm telling the daughter's story. Right. And a lot of the men are raising girls, like they're raising their daughters. And so a lot of my story, I'm coming from a daughter's perspective, like, you know, so it was amazing to hear a lot of feedback from men. But yeah, so my podcast is available on all the podcast platforms and everything. I haven't done a podcast in a while, more so because I like to do my shows when I'm feeling it. I don't want to just do a show to do a show. You know what I mean? Especially, you know what I mean? And so I could go months without a show, you know what I'm saying? But when I do it, like I just did 2 of them last month. So they just need to be edited and uploaded. But I talk about detaching, you know, letting go, you know what I'm saying? And they'll be up soon, I hope. But yeah, the podcast, it was a good platform to start. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So tell our audience, everyone, how they can find you.
So I'm a lot more. I'm on Instagram. So my Instagram is BX5Girl. So BX for the Bronx and then 5 and then girl. So BX5Girl on Instagram. And then from Instagram, you can kind of see my TikTok page and my Facebook page, but I never remember any of those other ones. But BX5Girl is also my TikTok if you want to follow that. But I do a lot of my performing, a lot of sharing like that on my Instagram page.
Awesome. So real fast before we close out, you know, I'm going to ask you, just do a small piece. Just give us a little something of your spoken word, just something, whatever's speaking to you right now.
I've always followed my heart. I may not have always thought things through, which is probably why I have pages upon pages of heartbreak poems and poems of wishing I were with you. I've always followed my heart. Like a child learning how to walk, I may have stumbled upon opportunity and played with reality because at the time I was just not ready. See, life teaches you the difference between wanting and needing. And right now, I need a breakthrough. Because in the past, I may have wanted your approval and wanted to be wanted by you, but I'm moving into womanhood now, and I don't follow the leader anymore. I don't follow the crowd because I'm finding my voice and I'm saying out loud, I love myself. I love my face. I love my body. My skin is not a disgrace. I am grace. And I move to a different beat. But you may recognize the title. It's called Doing Me. And even though it may seem like I'm leaving you behind, if you would just recognize that your essence is divine, you would not be far behind. See, my poetic lyrics were created to heal me, but subconsciously help you. My mind has ran races faster than any track master. My heart has created beats better than any beatboxer. And I break dance and cause skies to cry because I am that powerful. You see, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about you. But society can keep their stereotypes because I've changed channels. See, I've been fighting a battle for no reason because society's expectations of me are out of my season and I'm tired. Through this conflict, I forgot to smile at my accomplishments. I forgot to humble my spirit. And in the interim of things, I forgot to listen to what really mattered, me. So even though following my heart may cause me to write more heartbreak poems, at least I know I can end this poem knowing that I thought it through and I can finally put an end to this inner battle.
Yes.
Before we go, if I may say, I failed to say this in the beginning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me on the show. Yes. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Yes. And just thank you for my new followers and friends and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, so well. Thank you for gracing our podcast, our platform. Like seriously, when you know what? I actually heard, I know I listened to you October, we was at the iGlow event. But I've heard you, I crossed your path at another event. I was like, one day, Lord, I'm going to meet her. I am going to meet her. And I've been following you. I'm one of those quiet ones. I'm in the background, I watch. I'm one of those like to observe. And you're powerful, sis. That's all I got to say. You're really powerful and much blessings upon blessings to you and your boys, your family.
Yes. Yes. And and she didn't mention, but she's also on YouTube, and you can subscribe.
Yes, that's true.
I want to put that out there. And one of my favorites tapings was Not Just Words. I'm gonna leave that out there for you.
Okay. Yes. These are not just words, just a reminder for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And also, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for just allowing us to have you as our special guest. You're no longer a special guest. You're family now, part of the resilience. But also, I want to leave it with this from me. 1 Corinthians 12:27-31, and it reads, Now ye are the body of Christ, and members in particular. 28, and God hath set in the church first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, and after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues. I'm going to leave it at that. The rest you can read for yourself. These are the gifts that have been placed before us, within us, before we knew who we were. And now that we're walking in our purpose, this is God's excellent way of him being revealed. I'm going to leave it at
that. Yes. So our Resilience family, thank you for joining us in for this another good segment with Divine Valentin. Woo! Oh, I got another hand applause. Totally appreciate you giving your time today. Seriously, God is good. And,
all the time.
I'm watching you, girl.
All the time.
This will be our first or our last. We'll be seeing her plenty more. We're going to be in the same set.
Definitely. Most definitely. So
thank
guys,
you, everyone.
Always, y'all, be resilient, stay well, stay safe. And we love you.
Love you too. Good night, y'all. Bye.